I'm Mickerrific, and I'm straight up excited for Mario Kart World, baby! New tracks, new music, and a brand new world. This game even has Moo Moo as a playable character. Oh, my bad. Cow. Now that's an $80 character name. But when Nintendo first announced all of this, not everyone had the same excitement that I did. A lot of people thought that Mario Kart World looked too linear. In other words, too straight. And you know, I get the concern. There's clearly not a single curve in sight. Not a single one. Nope. But I decided to give the naysayers a fair chance. So for my very first playthrough of the game, I took my left Joy-Con off its grip and set it to the side. Because I want to see if I can experience everything this brand new world has to offer without steering. Items are fair game. I'm allowed to drive on walls and rails. I can rewind, and Lakitu can save me as many times as needed, but I am not touching the left joystick. This isn't just a Mario Kart challenge. This is a social experiment, a spiritual journey, and a mistake, probably. So, is Mario Kart World actually straight? Let's find out. I decided to begin with the Grand Prix, starting, of course, with the Mushroom Cup. Now, Grand Prix work a bit differently in this game. The first race consists of 3 laps as usual, but the final 3 are different. Instead of the standard 3 laps around the finish line, you instead take a scenic drive to the next course, followed by 1 lap of that course. Which means I not only have to complete all of the courses in the game, I also have to figure out how to get to all of the courses in the game. And with gameplay that chiefly looks like this, yeah, this challenge took me a while. Also, please bear with me, this was my first time using a capture card, so the footage doesn't look the greatest for the first 2 cups, but I promise it gets better after that. Anyways, on to the Mushroom Cup. This was my first time even touching this game, but even so, I was ready to win this race.
All right, the faster I can go off the edge here, the better I will do. And same with the second time. Oh no, this was a mistake. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. We can do this section easy. Oh look, we're not that far behind. This isn't too bad. Right. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. That's perfect. That's exactly what we need. The walls help, but not quite as much as I thought.
Okay, so believe it or not, despite my phenomenal driving, I actually didn't win this race somehow. This is when I mentally changed the title of this video from Can You Win Mario Kart World to Can You Beat Mario Kart World Without Steering. This first lap was a rude awakening. This challenge is gonna be way harder than I thought. After a few more bullet bills, some assists from Lakitu, and lots of wall jumping, I beat Mario Bros. Circuit without steering.
No, no fair.
You're right, Waluigi. It isn't fair.
It took longer than expected, but hey, I scored at least 1 point, just like everyone else did, so it counts, I guess. On to the next race. Crown City 1 started out simple. There was a long section at the beginning that had some helpful rails, and there were plenty of spots where I could drive off the map and then respawn facing the right way. But best of all, I got a golden mushroom. Okay, well that didn't do much. This race is also where I discovered this game's twisted sense of humor.
You know, I don't think he deserves that costume.
After another linear section and an impromptu head trauma party, Waluigi made it to the racetrack. Now, the first section of Crown City is pretty straightforward. All you gotta do is just drive off the edge, respawn, drive off the edge, respawn, drive off the edge. It's like a little game. But as soon as you reach this yellow donut of doom, it gets way harder.
Am I soft locked? What? I feel very stuck.
I tried forcing the other drivers to bump me in the correct direction, but they were just too far away. And then I drove off backwards. I don't even know what I was thinking here. But as soon as I was about to give up, I tried driving backwards while hopping, and somehow it changed the angle of my approach. So after hopping around for about 2 minutes...
No. Okay.
So after hopping around for another 2 minutes...
Yes. Exactly. All right, this has got to be it. Yes! Oh! We did it! I don't even care that I'm in last. Just the fact that this is possible. Again. Man. Yeah, I don't know, this might be curtains.
So it turns out these races have a time limit, and this right turn went so poorly that the game gave up on me before I even did. Which means I have no choice but to admit that this course isn't possible without steering. My silly challenge run ended as soon as it began. I had failed. I let down myself, my subscribers, and most importantly, Waluigi. I let down Waluigi, guys. This game isn't beatable without steering. This was a stupid video idea. What was I thinking? But then I realized something. Apparently, this game is so easy that you don't have to finish the race in order to get a point, which means that technically I wasn't disqualified. Sure, Crown City 1 might not be possible to finish this way, but there are still 30 racetracks to test out. And at the end of it all, I'm confident that I can be in the final lineup of racers in 24th place. Traveling to Whistle Stop Summit was actually pretty easy. I crashed into a helpless diner, drove on a wall, and very slowly drove against this wall for about a minute.
You know, I'm with the haters on this one. This game is just a straight line. Look at this. See how straight this looks?
Then I got stuck at a railing. And after some trial and error, I discovered brand new Mario Kart World tech. If you're up against a wall, drive forwards and backwards in quick succession, so press A, B, A, B, A, B, and your front tire will face the direction that the wall is turning. I'm calling this new tech the Mickety Split. Thankfully, the rest of the drive was pretty uneventful, but the summit itself was a spiritual experience. And the enlightenment that I discovered goes a little something like this. Sometimes in life, we face mountains, and sometimes it feels like you're banging your head against a stone wall with no discernible progress. Sometimes we get ourselves into messes that we can't get ourselves out of. And sometimes it feels hopeless. So when life gets you down, just find yourself some train tracks. In game. I'm talking about in Mario Kart World. Don't play on train tracks. That's never a good solution. Don't go on train tracks. I'd like to reiterate that this was my first time experiencing this game, and wow, what an experience this is. I really get a feel for the environment, and I get to see all the little details that nobody else does.
Look at the detail of those cliffs. It really makes you feel like you're driving into a wall.
The long and winding road that leads to DK Spaceport will never disappear from my nightmares. Many times I've been alone, and many times I've cried, but anyways, you'll never know that it took me 10 minutes just to get to the racetrack. The Spaceport itself was one of the easiest tracks in the entire game. Every segment is either straight or it has a rail that can help you make the sharp turns. So I absolutely barreled through this track.
All right, just brute force our way through here. I don't know why I jumped there.
And with another finish line behind me, the first cup was complete.
Out of all the courses I've played so far, that one was the least miserable.
It might not have been the prettiest driving, but hey, we gotta celebrate with everyone else anyways. You see that clump of pixels over there? That's me! Wait, is that me? Or maybe that's a tumor. With one cup out of the way, I had already made it farther into this challenge than I expected, but driving straight almost felt too difficult. It was almost as if some outside force was fighting against my ability to drive straight, and that's when it hit me.
Wait a minute. I don't think Waluigi's straight.
Of course, if I'm gonna drive straight, I need to play as a straight character.
You know, I think Wario is straight. I would go so far to say Wario's homophobic.
So with my questionable methodology and character selection behind me, I moved on to the Flower Cup. Desert Hills was obnoxious. It was non-stop driving off the edge with no wall in sight, until there was nothing but wall in sight.
Oh no.
To make matters worse, this lip here was nearly impossible to pass. But by using a combination of the Mickety Split, a wall jump, and plain dumb luck...
That's exactly what I had in mind. We can make this work though. I learned this one from Cars.
2 more laps, 1 disgusting jump, and a golden mushroom later, we crossed the finish line.
Ugh. Where did it all go wrong?
The drive to Shy Guy Bazaar was surprisingly uneventful yet again, thanks to some wall bouncing and my ability to manifest items.
Now, if I got another bullet here, that would be stupendous. Okay.
This section was so easy, I actually caught up to the rest of the pack. You see that clump of pixels? That's another racer. Or maybe it's a tumor on wheels? But either way, for the first time in this challenge, I actually passed someone.
What? I'm in 23rd? No. Oh. Well, that was short-lived.
The rails and the glider section made Shy Guy Bazaar a metaphorical oasis. One lap only took about 1 minute, which I know doesn't sound very good until you remember one lap of Desert Hills took away 6 minutes and my sanity. The entire race only took about 4 minutes, and I was starting to see the vision behind Mario Kart World. The road to Wario Stadium was just like all of the others. Run off the edge, jump into a wall for 2 minutes, drive on a wall, use a bullet bill. Honestly, not much to write home about.
I'd like to remind you, this is my first time experiencing this game. I bought a Switch a month ago in Walmart, got it all packaged up, and they delivered it to my front porch so I could spend today doing this. Almost there.
The Wario meta was working somehow. Overall, the Flower Cup was going way better than the Mushroom Cup.
Yay! That one was like 9 minutes. Ugh.
I had finally hit my stride. And even though we had to get creative, the road to Airship Fortress blasted by. I think the most fun thing about this challenge is finding solutions to literal roadblocks in my path. The spawn point wasn't far enough to get a good reset, so I used a chain chomp to redirect my path. It was so cool! Between the game's mechanics and the maps, you're able to cut your own path. And for somebody who gave himself a really dumb, hard, evil path, it was rewarding to have so many tools at my disposal. But not even the best tools can overcome some challenges.
Oh no. It's another one of these situations. Come on, hit me, hit me, hit me. Hit me! Please, please. All I can hope is that hitting this over here will give me a better angle. Like, there's no chance. Why?
Albeit an anticlimactic ending, Lakitu clapped for us, and we unlocked Daisy, so again, this run is totally valid. And for those of you who are wondering, I did go back and play Airship Fortress, and it turns out it actually is possible to beat it without steering. Although you absolutely need a bullet bill in order to do so. And I find that to be pretty poetic, because, well, you know. With all the cliffs, snow, and water, I was expecting the Star Cup to be a challenge. The initial ascent up DK Pass wasn't too bad, until I reached this specific right turn. I messed around trying to find a way to pass, and it just wasn't working.
This one's a toughie.
I was able to barely get the right angle.
Okay, now we're going. Now we're cooking.
In order for Lakitu to swoop us back in the right direction.
Okay. Yay!
I hopped backwards, got a giant mushroom, and I absolutely nailed this turn on the first try.
That worked out surprisingly well.
Things were finally starting to look up for me.
Yay. First level done.
Now that I can show you a time-lapse without pixelating your visual cortex, I want to take this time to just gush about the music in this game. They not only created amazing original songs, but they remixed songs from a bunch of other games too. There are over 200 songs in this game, and I wasted so much time while writing the script for this video just because I was distracted by listening to it. So I want to give my personal thanks to Atsuko Asahi and the rest of the music team for making such an amazing soundtrack. Because let's be honest, the official Nintendo Music app sure won't. Starview Peak. Not only was it one of the easier courses in this challenge, it was absolutely breathtaking. I mean, look at the coloring of this wall. Gaze at all the stars in the sky, and check out the water in this water. They even made NPC Lumas? I don't know how this level is going to rank by usual Mario Kart standards, but from a visual standpoint, it's a 10 out of 10. Alright, let me ask you this. If Monty Mole jumped off a cliff, would you? Because I did. Again, and again, and a bullet bill, and again, and again. What can I say? I'm a simple man. I see a cliff, I drive off it. Sky High Sunday is essentially a long baby park, and because of that, the straightaways were super easy. It only had one kind of difficult section on the final turn, but with a little bit of shenanigans, we were able to do it.
And that is another track done.
Let me ask you this. If Monty Mole rail grinded on a cliff, would you? Because I did. And with a mushroom and a carefully timed jump, I caught up to the rest of the pack again. You see that character in the distance? That's not a tumor. I can definitely say for certain this time, it's Cataquack. Finishing Wario Shipyard was trivial. I did this, which really did feel cooler in the moment. Then I almost committed vehicular Shy Guy slaughter, and then this happened.
You know, this is an $80 game.
After a minor course correction, we jumped out of bounds and took another bullet bill to victory. But first, I had to commit vehicular Shy Guy slaughter a second time. This was the fastest cup yet. Either Monty Mole is built different, or these 4 tracks were genuinely not too hard. And despite getting dead last again, I still unlocked Rosalina. Win, lose, win. Next up was the Shell Cup, which has a lot of water, some animals, and Yellow Donut of Doom, no, stay away from me, I won't let you hurt me again. Koopa Troopa Beach is another one of those courses where I can't help but wish that whoever first called this game linear could be drug into the street and crushed by a thwomp execution style, because this course is everything but straight. Also, there are 5 laps, and the mind tends to wander when you're stranded on an island.
So you know how they say Koopa Troopa? Do you think Cooper Trooper is a slur?
Note to self, get a CT scan when this is over.
Mario Kart is a lot like running. I don't like running.
So it turns out, Faraway Oasis isn't that far away. I managed to stay out of last place until the second section, which was pretty neat. And at that point, it was just a few grind rails and wall rides to the third section anyways, so I was feeling good.
If this challenge ever became a speedrun category, I think that would be awesome.
And Faraway Oasis itself is just another easy course that you don't have to steer on. There are plenty of rails, and there's even a water current that takes you in the right direction. All in all, this course was pretty easy. I was starting to feel very good about my chances. I was on fire. My old nemesis, Yellow Donut of Doom. Our battle will be... Nah, I'm better at the game now. This'll be a piece of cake.
Wasn't there a city in Arthur called Crown City?
You know what? Yes, there was. I don't know how I remembered that. The road to Crown City has 2 little squiggles followed by a really long bridge section. As we all know, bridges are a really good place for thinking.
Okay, question. So the lore of Dr. Mario is that it's an entirely different individual from the Mario we know and love. Does that mean touring Rosalina is different from regular Rosalina? Is Gondolier Luigi Dr. Mario's long-lost brother? These are the questions we should be asking.
Note to self, get a CT scan soon. By the way, if you've enjoyed the video so far, it would mean the Mario Kart World to me if you shared it with a friend. I know, it's weird. I'm not asking for you to subscribe, which, you could do that too if you want, but even if you don't do either of those things, I just want to say thank you for watching and for being here. It really means a lot to me. Thank you. Crown City 2 was much easier than the previous installment, with way more forgiving respawn points, a half pipe, and best of all, no Yellow Donut of Doom. Maybe I treated Crown City too harshly. Maybe Crown City really is one heck of a diamond by the sea.
Crown City, one heck of a diamond by the sea.
The coolest thing possible happened on the way to Peach Stadium. Did you see it? I jumped off the car onto the rail. Okay, it wasn't that cool, but for somebody doing this all day, this singular moment made the $50 bundle worth it. I'm still not sure if the courses actually got easier as time went on, but I was getting truly comfortable with not using the left joystick. Playing the game this way just started to make sense.
I don't know what it is, but the Goombas look delicious in this game.
Okay, that's it. No more notes to self. I'm getting a CT scan right now. The video can wait. I've gone through way too much trauma. Something isn't right up here. Peach Stadium had another really difficult turn. I truly don't think there's a single way to get past this without a bullet bill. And believe me, I tried. For longer than I should have. Because when I finally remembered bullet bills are a thing and went back to get one, by that time it was too late. Oh. I actually finished it? For some reason, I thought I didn't finish this level.
I got so lucky getting the bullet bill there. I genuinely didn't think that one was... I didn't think we were gonna get it. I almost gave up on you, Rosalina. I almost gave up on you.
I was officially past the halfway point. With every race, I was getting more comfortable with this challenge, and I was almost so immersed in the environments and the music that I forgot how much fun this challenge actually wasn't. Look, this challenge was enjoyable, but I honestly wouldn't wish it upon anyone, except for maybe Funky Kong, because then he'd actually be in the game. I don't mean to be a downer, but as much fun as it is driving into the same wall 30 times, there were some moments I kinda wished I hadn't done this on a blind playthrough. This is the first new Mario Kart game in a long time, and the world is kinda small when you're looking at it from a corner. Like, I can appreciate the fact that Peach Beach has a different route for every lap, but I didn't get to enjoy it. I don't mean to complain. I think I'm just trying to say if you're gonna try this challenge, you should experience the game normally first. I kinda wish that's what I would have done. That's all. I don't have much to say about the Road to Salty Salty Speedway. I did complete it, but I don't really remember it since my wife came and checked on me, because at this point, she hadn't seen me in 4 hours. The course itself, I got lucky with a bullet bill on this loop-de-loop, and then I got another on this twisty segment, which means I really didn't drive much on this level. And you know, I'm not complaining. The road to Dino Jungle was long, but at the very least, it was possible. I am so surprised with just how much of this game you can finish without steering. I'm not winning or even getting 23rd place, but the fact that you can get as far as you can in a racing game without steering, I think it says a lot about the game design. Mario Kart World can be played by pros, by amateurs, and by idiots like me. Most of the race at Dino Jungle was spent driving out of bounds over and over again. I got stuck on this part. Really stuck.
What do I do about this?
And I don't know how this happened, but on the 5th drive out of bounds, it just worked.
I don't know what was different about that one, but it was different.
And after a few more Lakitu assists, we finished the level.
Everybody else lost to a crab? That's embarrassing.
The road to Great Block Ruins was the same experience as all the others.
Any second now. Ooh. Look at the sky on that sky.
Between all of the rails and the walls, this course was a fun experience. And I'm just excited to return to it in any other context. I could see the potential. This looks like a fun race. That's another 4 points, another accolade, and another new character. I'm getting pretty good at this. I was feeling great at this point, which of course meant that it was time to change my character selection tactics again. Even though I didn't follow the previous pattern after Wario, oops.
Okay, you know what? I think maybe I'm going about this the wrong way. I'm gonna try and find the most curvy character. Because as we know, these tracks are not straight, they're curvy. So I think Wiggler's the curviest character I know.
Cheep Cheep Falls was fine. The theming is peak, but take a look at this map. It was doable, but this was definitely one of the least fun levels for this challenge. Oh well, we got it done. Next came the road to Dandelion Depths. Pretty straightforward. The switchbacks caused some problems, but nothing that discovering new tech couldn't solve.
Whoa, whoa, that was new.
It turns out if you reverse and then charge jump, your character does a 180. That sure would have been nice to know going into all of this. But thankfully, the rest of Section 1 went A-okay. Wiggler's curvy disposition came in clutch. Section 2, on the other hand, also went well. I was surprised at how easy this drive was. Dandelion Depths was rewarding to not steer on. There were some moments that felt great.
We're gonna try and jump on this wall. I'm a genius. That's what I meant to do. You people in the comments are gonna be like, that's not what he meant to do. But it is. Whoa, look at those fuzzies. Almost into the next room. Yay. Oh dear.
And I thought that I would get stuck in the corner here, but I used the 180 hop to jump off the edge and reset. I finished with another bullet bill, and that's another course done. Next up is Boo Cinema. Look at this, the entire track is one long turn. But that's nothing a good old-fashioned cartridge William can't handle, or two. I got stuck on another wall, so I did a 180.
Well, that kind of feels like cheating.
And after just a few more wall hops and a rail grind and another bullet bill, we made it to Boo Cinema.
It's a movie theater? What kind of movies would Boos watch? Because I could see it going two ways. Obviously, they could do the cliche thing and watch horror film, but then on the other hand, I think they could watch very wholesome children's shows. Those Boos don't look like they're a day over 6.
Another rail grind, some more wall hopping. You've seen this song and dance before, and scene.
I don't think Wiggler appreciates what I'm going through here.
Wouldn't you guess it? We got stuck again. So a bullet bill is necessary again. And then we got lucky and got another bullet bill again.
I am so glad I had a bullet bill for that. That would not have been fun.
But then again, that's kind of the whole point of this challenge, isn't it? One more time lapse later, 2 more 180 jumps, and whatever this was. What? I finally made it to Dry Bones Burnout. And can I say that all the theming in this game is phenomenal? Yeah, the free roam can feel a bit empty, but the courses themselves are brimming with character and charm. I like these places a lot. I could live here. Okay, maybe not here, but Koopa Troopa Beach.
What do you mean, nice try? I did it. I'd like to see King Boo do what I just did. Oh, I can see him do that.
Moo Moo Meadows is a big oval with more ovals on it. Whatever. I've got something way more important to say. How smart are these cows? The cow playable character is smart enough to drive. Does that mean these cows are too? Because I'm not sure that I'm comfortable living in a world where intelligent creatures are presumably enslaved for the liquid they produce. Is this humane? Are they getting paid? This place seems pretty closed off from the rest of the world. Is this cow trying to make money from a successful racing career in order to free the other cows? Because that would be Summer Flick of the Year.
I don't know. At least it looks like they're happy.
This next race was so easy, I'm gonna give you a 26-step guide. Rail grind again, don't steer, bullet bill, get monkey stomped by a Koopa, jump into this wall, have a reasonable crash out.
After this challenge, I never want to see a right turn again.
Sink into muck again, sink into muck a third time. Do it again for poops and giggles. And finally, jump on this wall to get to Choco Mountain. Now we're at Choco Mountain. Sink into muck again. Wouldn't you know it? Do it a third time. Go down this tunnel, drive on the wall and sink into muck. Do it one last time. That's the last time. I'm not doing it again, I promise. Get domed by a football, sink into muck, get saved by charging Chuck, jump out of bounds, drive against a wall. Do it again, but get stuck this time. Rethink the decisions that led you to this point. Use a bullet bill. It's as simple as that, folks. The road to Toad's factory was thankfully very short. I jumped off the edge a bunch, I broke my promise to you guys, I used a bullet bill on this windy section, I did a little parkour, this felt cool, and somehow I wasn't that far behind the pack. And Toad's factory was fast enough, I'm just gonna show you the whole race. I want you to see the raw experience of what I've been trying to do this whole time.
Oh, they intend for you to go on the wall here. Ah! I am so glad they brought this course back. As a 2000s kid, this level means the world to me. And it is as beautiful as the day I lost it. Come on, give me your boost, Wario, thank you. I'm kind of bummed I only get to do one lap of that one, because that's another one of the easier courses. I didn't get last? I beat Wario! Huge!
After over 25 devastating losses, there was finally a bigger loser than me. Could it be that I was actually getting better at this? Yeah, but more importantly, that whole race was super short and super easy. Yay! The road to Bowser's Castle was pretty technical. Everything that I had learned up until this point was tested. This course was my canvas, and I was a painter with 5 hours of experience.
We could do this.
I was on a roll, confident, quick, and conquering.
I've learned so much about playing this game without playing it. I feel like I'm a new beast. Like, this wall would have stopped me earlier. But now? Now I'm the king of doing this. Bowser knows a thing or two about presentation. If I were Peach, I'd choose Bowser. Look at that up there. That's dedication. Finally, after everything, I'm done. I did it. Unless they have a secret cup that I don't know about. What? Odds fish? Is it Funky Kong? Oh, it's all the trophies I earned through my excellent driving skills. was wondering where it was. If anyone could beat Rainbow Road, it's Birdo.
In Acorn Heights, you start by jumping on this wall.
Don't mind me, guys. I'll catch up.
Then the glider takes you to this leaf section, which, if you have a bullet bill, is a cinch. Drive off the edge twice, and boom. I want to say easy acorny, but that just doesn't work. Easy peasy. The drive to Mario Circuit was thankfully uneventful. I got to use an entire golden mushroom for the first time this run, and I was able to course correct using this wall and bullet bill away from this wall. Mario Circuit itself was a little more challenging than I first thought. While some of the turns could be skipped by jumping off the edge of the track, these half pipes made it impossible in other spots.
Whoa. Okay, well.
But if you go up the half pipe and hit the brakes, apparently you turn while in the air, which is perfect because I needed to turn in the air. Despite going the wrong direction, jumping against another wall, and jumping out of bounds, Lakitu somehow never gave up on me. All in all, this course was a bit obnoxious, but it was doable.
I still can't get over the fact that I beat Wario.
The road to Peach Stadium was enthralling. Half pipes, Goombas, cliffs, cows. What more could you ask for? I got really stuck again on this left turn, but after a lucky jump, followed by holding A and B at the same time, I made it down the hill. The rest of the course had some nice straightaways, which was a breath of fresh air. And before I knew it, I made it to the second to last track in the game. This second version of Peach Stadium was much easier than the prior. There was a lot of falling, and I needed an assist from a bullet bill, but it was way easier.
All right, let me know in the comments who would win in a fight, Mariachi Waluigi or Bumblebee Wario.
Somehow, despite the odds, I had made it to the final course. Is Rainbow Road actually possible to beat without steering? Well, the road to Rainbow Road sure looks promising.
Okay, well now that I'm looking at it, I can see where people are coming from with the whole straight line thing. It makes sense. It is kind of linear. Oh, that is cool. That is cool. Oh, it plays a little cutscene. Oh, that is sick. Whoa! Okay, well, it is no longer straight. This is the most unstraight level in the game by far.
Rainbow Road was even more of a final boss than Bowser's Castle. With not a single wall in sight, I was left to my wits. I pressed A and B at the same time. I jumped off the edge. I glided, and I used bullet bills. I couldn't believe it. I was actually about to finish the game without steering. Throughout this entire challenge, every one of my tears had become a rainbow, and every single trial was because of a road. But now, at the end of it all, this challenge was almost over. But then I reached this left turn, and everything went south from there. I tried to use all of the tools that I had under my belt. None of my experience or persistence or knowledge of the game's mechanics helped me at all. I was stuck.
After all this, I don't think Rainbow Road is possible.
Mario Kart World giveth, and Mario Kart World taketh away. I may not have completed Rainbow Road, which was anticlimactic, but as far as the challenge is concerned, I did it. I completed every Grand Prix in the game, I got a total of 33 points, and a very large bill for my CT scan. I take it back. I'm glad that this was my first experience with Mario Kart World. Racing without steering turned out to be strangely fulfilling and fun. But wait, what about the other game modes? I tried battle mode without steering. It's possible. I also tried driving across the entire map in free roam without steering. And somehow, that's also possible, although it did take me a long time. I'm not going to show it here, but I'll make a YouTube short. And finally, I decided to bring all of my non-steering skills to the test in online mode. If I could beat other people without steering, then I will have become the greatest Mario Kart player in the world.
Suddenly, I don't feel too good about my chances. But if there's one thing I learned, is that this is possible. Okay, I'm not in last. I actually feel pretty good about how I'm doing. Yeah, that's about what I thought.